Hi everyone, and welcome back to Eat Color with Claudia. Today's dish is a side dish that's stunning and full of savory flavors. It's inspired by a French chef, Alain Ducasse, and we're taking butternut squash to a whole new level. And the best part is that it's simple, it's easy, requires few ingredients. We're using bread cubes from a stuffing bag, some diced pancetta, and Parmesan cheese. And that's just about all the ingredients we need. It's a beautiful, hearty dish that'll steal the show at any fall dinner table, especially Thanksgiving. First things first, let's prep our squash. Be sure it's nice and clean, and since this stem is really hard to cut through, we're gonna go ahead and cut it off right now. We want to cut it lengthwise. I find one of these little grooves that go across down the center, and I take like a paring knife and stick it in there. Just do little slits. Sometimes cutting open a squash is a little intimidating, but just take your time and follow this very simple method. And I like to turn it around, get it down through the stem here. All right. And then I take a big chef knife and I follow where my cut is. Best thing to do is to take it like this. And then you just kind of lift it and smack it. And smack it again. There we go. And it just opened up nice. Now you want to take a spoon and just scoop out all these seeds. Now we're not going to use the seeds for this dish, but I'm sure that you can roast them and they'd be absolutely delicious. And also make sure you get all this like pulp out of here. And sometimes I just take it with a scissor and cut it right out. Removing all these seeds is super easy and totally worth it. Now we're ready on the fun part. We just need to now make holes in this butternut squash so that we can stuff in the savory flavors. How do we make holes? Well, you can use a wine bottle opener because it's got this really nice corkscrew on here, or you can use the tip of a handheld beater. This little tip here works really well. And then of course you can use a paring knife. But let's make these holes. I want to make 21 holes on each side. If you're using this wine bottle opener, you just go like here, and then you just screw and release, and you're gonna have a nice hole. And now the only thing is you just gotta be careful that you don't go all the way through to the skin. Now you can also use the tip of this, and you just take it in here and press and do a little wiggle like here. And I say that we need 21 holes on each side because we have 3 ingredients. So we're going to put 7 of each on each side. Give us a nice blended flavor. A lot of times I take a combination of all the methods. And you can also take your paring knife here and remove the pulp that's in here so that when you go to put the food items in there, you're going to get it all the way down deep in there. Now there's no hard set rule of exactly how many holes to put in here. I mean, you can get carried away. I just want to make sure I have enough to put all my great filling in there. Okay, so let me clean this up and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Let's start with some pancetta for a savory, salty kick. And you can use bacon, but I find that the pancetta is like in thicker chunks and it's easier to shove in there. Now some of these go easier than others. Just take your time because I'm telling you, it's so worth it. Now I'm going to add some cubes of Parmesan cheese for some nuttiness. And just cram them on in there. And last but not least, these herbed bread cubes for some texture. And there we have it, packed with flavor. Now we want to get this butternut squash roasting. Use some sort of a casserole pan that's big enough that is going to hold your squash in there. And now we're going to pour some rock salt down on the bottom. This is going to create a nice bed for the butternut squash. We're going to wedge them on in here. This way it'll keep them upright, keep them from falling, to their side as they cook. Also, the heat will penetrate evenly. Now sprinkle with salt and pepper, and then drizzle with olive oil. Now place a parchment paper on top. This will help the squash roast evenly and keep it from drying out. Into the oven for an hour and a half, or until a knife slides in there real nice and easily. While that squash is slow roasted in the oven, we're going to make a very simple finishing dressing with, of course, parsley. A small little bowl, 2 tablespoons parsley, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a little bit more salt, and a little bit of pepper, and then we'll put about a 1/4 cup of olive oil in there. And now we're just going to stir this up and let these flavors blend here and rest while the squash is in the oven. Squash is out. Oh, it smells amazing. Brush some of that parsley garlic dressing on top. This is going to add a fresh aromatic layer. Put the lid back on top and let it rest for at least 10 minutes. And let the dressing really settle in there with all the other flavors. And I'm telling you, this could be the most delicious side dish you've ever eaten this fall. I promise you. And here it is. Roasted stuffed butternut squash with pancetta, Parmesan, and herb bread. It's golden cozy and totally ready for your fall table. Drop in some chopped parsley into the little squash grooves for a beautiful presentation. Now you can just put this on the table as is and let your guests just serve themselves. You're going to be surprised when they get all this beautiful filling in with every bite. Incredible, creamy, roasted squash with these delicious flavors just all melted together. This is just incredible. This is a perfect comfort food for the fall, for Thanksgiving, really for any time. And if y'all like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And until next week, y'all, bon appetit. So good.